Hello, dear students, very good morning. Today we are going to be discuss with the anatomy or the osteology of the skull. Introductory part. Skull is the skeleton of the head. Cranium means skull minus the mandible. Calvaria is the upper part of the cranium. It is also called as brain box because it encloses to the brain. Facial skeleton is a skull minus the calvaria. Facial skeleton is further divided into upper facial skeleton and lower facial skeleton. Then if is to summarize the introductory part, that is skull minus mandible is equal to cranium. Calvaria is the upper part of the cranium. Skull minus calvaria is equal to facial skeleton. And facial skeleton is again divisible into two parts, upper facial skeleton and lower facial skeleton. That lower facial skeleton is actually, it is a mandible. The bones of the skull are 8. They are studied in paired and unpaired bones. That paired bones are parietal 2, temporal 2. Unpaired bones are frontal, occipital, sphenoid and ethmoid. That these malleus, incus and steps, these are present bones within bones. Bones within bones are there. So these are bones present within the bones, so that we calculate that 8 bones are present in the skull cap. So you can remember by one mnemonic, that is PT force. Okay, that is the parietal, temporal, that is the frontal, occipital, sphenoid and ethmoid. So these 8 bones are there. Next is the facial skeleton comprises of bones of the skull cap and the calvaria and the facial skeleton, that is from the skull is. So paired bones are, that is maxilla, zygomatic, nasal, lacrimal, palatine, inferior, nasal concha, and whereas unpaired bones are mandible and vomal. Now the joints of the skull. Most of the joints of the skull are fibrous type of joints. They are the example of the fibrous type of joint is, that is the sutures of the skull. So most of the bones which are present in the skull, they are joined by the sutures. A few of them, there are the primary cartilaginous type of joints are present, and some of them there is a synovial type of joints are present. Synovial type of joints is one of the most important joint, that is the TMJ, that is temporomandibular joint is an example of the synovial type of joint. It is a synovial type of joint, but it is not present in actually in the limb region, it is present in the skull region. Now comes to the anatomical position of the skull. It is again important part that used to describe the anatomical position of the skull. That is that anatomical position of the skull is described by the two lines. That is, one is a Frankfurt baseline and second one is called Reed's baseline. So Frankfurt's horizontal line is actually, it is a line which is joining the upper. This is the external acoustic meters. This is external acoustic meters. And this is the inferior orbital margin. Okay, so this is the inferior orbital margin, this is external acoustic meters. So this Frankfurt's baseline is a line which used to be joins the inferior orbital margin with the superior part of the external acoustic meters. So this is the external acoustic meters and this is the inferior orbital margin. Then your Reed's baseline is there. This Reed's baseline used to be passes to the center of the external acoustic meters. So line which is passing from center of the external acoustic meters, and that is joining horizontally to the inferior orbital margin, that used to call as Reed's baseline, and the line which is passing at the above aspect of the external acoustic meters, that used to call as Frankfurt's baseline. So Frankfurt's baseline is actually, it is starts with the F. F is, it is flying, so it is fly above the external acoustic meters, and Reed's baseline, that stands for R, that is from the passes from the center of the extracoustic nucleus. So like that, you can remember between the Frankfurt's baseline and the Reed's baseline is these both the baseline. The concept is that both the baseline must be horizontally present, and that used to be gives an anatomical position of the skull is. Now, how to study the skull? This is the important aspect. The study of the skull, how it is going to be studied. So, by all, one way is there. First way is that by all 22 bones are separately being studied one by one. You have to study the maxilla, you have to study the frontal, you have to study the occipital, you have to study the nasal, lacrimal. This like one by one single bone we have to study. And the second way is the studying the skull as a single bone. So studying the skull as a single bone is a most famous way to study the skull. So it is being studied again. That is why studying skull in a single way is being studied in two parts. That is, exterior of the skull is being studied and the interior of the skull is being studied. So the exterior is being studied in the form of normas. That is, exterior is being studied in form of normas. So that is, first is the norma verticalis, norma occipitalis, norma frontalis, norma lateralis, and norma basalis. So, norma verticalis view means it is a superior view of the skull. Norma occipitalis means it is the posterior view of skull. Norma frontalis is the anterior view of skull, whereas the norma lateralis is the lateral view of a skull, and norma basalis is the inferior view of skull. Actually, these normas are being studied, or it is being understood like that. Which part is to be called as how many bones, how many sutures are present this in that specific norma is, and just you can imagine like that there is a one dark room is there and your skull is situated in its anatomical position, and you are putting a light focusing bulb. So if the focusing bulb is focusing from upside, the part of the bone that is being seen is called norma verticalis view. If you are saying from the front side, the part of the bone that is being seen, that used to call as norma frontalis. If you are saying from the back side, that used to call as norma occipitalis view is. From lateral side, that would be called as from lateralis view is. And if you used to see from the inferior side, that used to call as norma basalis view is. So this is one way. So one way is there to study the skull as a single bone. In a single bone, we have to study the skull in the different normas. Whereas the if one is the exterior and another is the interior is there. So the interior of the skull is being studied in form of fosses is there. Fossas are there. So that is the anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa, and posterior cranial fossa is. So we will discuss one by one. We have to discuss one by one by these ultimately these normas and these fossas, exterior and interior both. Now, norma verticalis view. In a norma verticalis view, what sutures used to see? In a norma verticalis view, you will see there would be the coronal suture is present. In a one is a sagittal suture, lambdoid suture, and metopic suture is there. So what if you used to see here is this suture is coronal suture, and this one is your sagittal suture is. So this is a coronal suture. Coronal suture is a suture which used to be joins the frontal bone with two parietal bones. These are the two parietal bones, and these two parietal bones are joined by a frontal bone with the suture. That suture is called coronal suture. Whereas sagittal suture, this is the sagittal suture. This sagittal suture used to be joins the two parietal bones to each other. These are the this is your sagittal suture is, and the posterior suture that is called lambdoid suture. This is the lambdoid suture. Lambdoid suture is a suture which used to be joins the two parietal bones with the occipital bone. This is the occipital bone being seen. This is the occipital bone. This is your parietal bone, and this is your frontal bone. So frontal, parietal, and occipital, these bones are being seen. And how these bones are being joined? They are joined by the suture. And the metopic suture, it is the metopic suture. This is the occasionally present in about to be of 3 to 8% of individuals. It lies in a median plane and it separates the two half of the frontal bone. So that metopic suture may present in this area is but it is seems to be present in only in about to be of 3 to 8% of individuals. Now comes to the some of the other important features present, that too with the norma verticalis view. If you used to see to the skull from the upside is, so vertex, this is the vertex. It is a highest point on the sagittal suture. So on a sagittal suture, the highest point is present. That highest point that used to call is the vertexes. Next is the vault. It is arched roof of, as well complete the arched roof of the skull, that used to call as vault. It is also known as a skull cap. It is also known as skull cap. Then there is bregma. Bregma, or this bregma is also known as anterior frontanel. So this is called bregma, or this is also known as anterior frontanel. Actually, it is a meeting point of coronal suture. This is the coronal suture with the sagittal suture. So coronal suture meets with the sagittal suture. That meeting point is called bregma. It's having a very important clinical anatomy present that we will discuss later. Next is, and it is going to be closed by the after the birth of 18 months of the birth is, it is going to be closed. Then the next is the important feature present that used to call is, that is called lambda. This is the lambda is there. So lambda is actually, it is a meeting point of where the your sagittal suture meets with the lambdoid suture. So this is the lambdoid suture. Here is the sagittal suture. So it is a meeting point where the sagittal suture meets with the lambdoid suture, and it is also known as posterior frontanel. This is also known as posterior frontanel. It is going to be closed after birth of the 2 to 3 months after birth. It's 2 to 3 months. In 2 to 3 months, it is going to be closed, and this is going to be closed as after the 18 month. Okay, so after 18 months it is going to be closed, and after 2 to 3 months it is going to be closed. It is important. Okay, then there is the parietal eminences are there. It is an area of maximum convexivity of the parietal bone. So these are also known as parietal tubers are there, and it is the maximum convexivity area is. Then parietal foramina, it pierces the parietal bones on each side of midline. That is approximately, they are present approximately 2.5 centimeter or 3.5 centimeter in front of the lambda. So this point is called lambda, this point is called bregma. So this is the bregma one is, it is a bregma, and this point is the lambda. Okay, so lambda, bregma, then there is the coronal suture, and there is a sagittal suture is present. Now clinical anatomy related to that of the ear sutures. So anterior frontanels, these are the sides. Anterior frontanel, this is the anterior frontanel. These are the sides of the growth of the skull, which is permitting growth of the brain and helps to determine the ages. This is the point is there. If frontanel fuse early, the brain growth is stunted. Such children are less intelligent. This is to be seen. If an anterior frontanel is bulging, if this is the anterior frontanel is there, if it is bulging, there is a raise. It shows that it's a raised intracranial pressure. If anterior frontanel is depressed, it shows that decrease in the intracranial pressure. Mostly it is due to the dehydration and malnutrition. Due to dehydration and malnutrition, it seems to be as depressed. The bones overrides at the frontanel, helping to decrease the size of the head during the vaginal delivery. The caput succedaneum, it is a soft tissue swelling on the any part of the skull due to rupture of the capillaries during the delivery. Skull becomes normal within few days in the postnatal life phase. So after postnatal life, that skull used to become normal, but the condition is the caput succedaneum is there. So thank you very much.